If you've come here looking for another Hasbro hate video, you're in the wrong place. Now, I have said in the past and will continue to say that as a corporation, Hasbro is absolutely despicable. It deserves all the hate it gets, and then some. If a friend of mine came up to me and said, "Dave, I'm planning on working for Hasbro," I would say, "Great! Make sure you've got your side hustle in place and really work that while you're at Hasbro, because eventually when they let you go, it's going to need to sustain you for quite some time." That said, this video is not about that. This video is about the people that are working inside Hasbro to do their absolute best to get us some really, really cool stuff. People that we should all appreciate. So, before we get started, does anybody want to get out? Alright, now that both of us are still here, this is what I'm going to be talking about in this video. Now recently I've noticed, as Hasbro has been showing off a lot of their figures, that a lot of them are looking really good. And all I can figure is the designers or the marketers or even the accountants are really kind of winning the battle against the C-suite right now. Probably the accountants really getting in the C-suite's faces and saying, "Guys, here's what's going on. Right now we're hemorrhaging people in the collector's market, and we're hemorrhaging so many that there is no way rising costs are going to make up for it. So what you need to do is let the designers do their job." And I think the C-suite's looking and thinking, "Crap, I guess we'd better actually let them do their job." So it's possible, I don't know, I'm not going to guarantee that, what could be an even cooler thing going on behind the walls at Hasbro are the designers and marketers are finally just saying, "We've had it. We're going to push back so we can make this stuff happen, because if it can't happen, everybody's just going to leave all the lines." And they're going, "Shoot, if we don't actually have people working on the lines at all, we don't have product. And if we don't have product, we can't keep the company going." So I'm really hoping that there's something going on behind the scenes right now where the C-suite's looking at things and saying, "We have to start letting these people do their jobs." And with that, there are a lot of unsung heroes that we don't know about inside Hasbro. People that maybe are doing the design work. Maybe it is the marketers. Maybe, again, it is the accountants. We don't know who it is. This video is for those of you unsung heroes who are crushing it so we can get really cool figures. A lot of which I've noticed in the past few months. And I do know that a lot of the figures we're seeing now were designed probably like a year ago. So hopefully the people that were pushing to make those figures happen are still there, because I'd like to see this quality really continue. So, to you designers, to you marketers, to you accountants, to everybody behind the scenes who's crushing it so we can get the following very cool figures, this one's for you, and I thank you. The first figure I want to talk about is the first Indiana Jones from the Indiana Jones Adventure series. Yes, I know I've had my problems. I look at this figure and I see that he just doesn't move enough. He doesn't have enough movement at the elbows and the knees. Like, when you think of Indiana Jones, you want him to be able to really wind up and punch somebody, and he doesn't have, like, the bend at the elbow to be able to really kick back for that big explosive punch. Still, what they gave Indy is ridiculous, with all kinds of hands, with the whip, with the gun, with the idol. Indy comes with a lot of stuff, and while it's not a perfect Harrison Ford likeness, at least what I've seen, it's pretty good. It's close. It's hard for me because when it comes to Harrison Ford, I grew up in the 80s when Harrison Ford was basically the man. So whenever I see a figure based on a character that he played, I desperately want to see Harrison Ford in that face. But I've seen enough other indies that they've shown off that look so close and might even be just about perfect that I kind of want to pick this one up just so maybe I can pick up others to put those heads on. But either way, this figure itself, while the belt looks problematic and all that good stuff, he comes with so much They did a lot with the weathering, with the paint. You get a lot for the price, and for that, whoever made this Indiana Jones figure happen, you rock. Thank you. The next person or persons to thank would be whoever was in charge of making the 30th anniversary Power Rangers happen. I gotta tell you, again, I'm a kid of the 80s. I don't know my 90s stuff that well, but I do recognize the significance of the Power Rangers when it comes to pop culture. And if I'm gonna get some Power Rangers, it's gonna be the ones from this 30th anniversary line. They look incredible. I love the articulation on them because there's no design work on the lower torso, so you're not breaking up any design, you're not really breaking up sculpt. It's one of the reasons that I'm so adamant that I wish Hasbro would make the recessed ball at the waist standard as well as a ball at the diaphragm standard, because if they did that, you'd never break up the sculpt or the movement, like the articulation at all. The design work, the sculpt, it would all just line up when you posed it out. It would be awesome. But with this set of Power Rangers, it's okay because, again, nothing on the lower torso that they have to worry about. So they're absolutely phenomenal. I love the fact that they have all the extra hands. They can do whatever this thing is. I don't know anything about that, but I do recognize it's important. So congratulate me in the comments. But they've got hands aplenty. I'm so geeked about that. They've got their blaster, Dragon Blaster. Let me know what that is in the comments as well, if I even got that right. But they've got several modes that goes in. They've got their own individual weapons. They've got both heads, like their unmasked and masked heads. I just think they look great. And I saw The Amazing's video where he popped up the diaphragm joint on the Yellow Ranger, and it gave her even more movement. I thought that was ingenious. Really big fan of that. So, Hasbro people who made that line happen, thank you. You did a great job. And while we're on the subject of the Lightning Collection, Rita Repulsa, I don't know if she's technically part of the 30th anniversary line, but she's got all the things she needs, including swappable faceplates. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, I think that's the first Hasbro figure besides the Hoth Rebel Soldier that has those swappable faceplates. And I think that is so cool. There's so much expression that she's got as well. Again, I know nothing about Power Rangers, but I knew when I saw that figure with everything she comes with and how much I appreciate the work that went into something with that many accessories and just how insane it looks, I knew that she was going to have to be a part of my collection. So, whoever out there had to push or had to do whatever you had to do to make Rita happen, thank you. I love that figure. Okay, I've got to admit something. For an 80s kid, I'm kind of sick of all 80s all the time. Yeah. It's one of the reasons I've been really slowing down on G.I. Joe Classified, is because they're just making the 80s designs bigger. And, of course, they're not coming with extra hands, and dang it, with Action Force out there, I need my G.I. Joes to come with extra hands so I can do more with them. That's why I love Slaughter, and that's why I love Snake Eyes. Extra hands, baby. Come on, Lenny. But, they did show off rock and roll. And I gotta say, I am so excited for rock and roll, beyond the fact that he has a couple extra hands, including, I think that's awesome. Awesome touch. I love it. They took kind of his V2 and V1 look and sort of combined them. And he's got kind of an updated helmet. He's got an updated look. This rock and roll is not all 80s all the time. He's got the tattoos going on. He looks really good. This is the kind of thing that can happen when they're able to just look at things and say, okay, let's do our own thing here for this one and see what happens. Because I absolutely love the result when they do that. I hope they keep it up. So Lenny, and anyone that was behind the creation of that rock and roll figure, thank you. He looks fantastic, and I hope to see a lot more like that in the future. heading over to Star Wars now, I want to thank everybody that was instrumental in making this guy happen. Okay, $25 for this is way too much, but I know that you guys, as the designers and the brand people and all that, don't set the price. So I'm not upset at you about that at all. What I will say is, while $25 is too much for Wicket here, I will never need another Wicket because whoever made this little guy happen absolutely knocked it out of the park. I love this figure. It's ridiculous. If you guys follow Toypixx on Twitter at all, you'll see that I'm constantly just like, Wicket is just the goofy guy on my page right now. He's just on a bunch of the images that I shoot and throw up there. I'm just absolutely in love with this little yub-nub. Just thank you, because I absolutely love this thing. You crushed it. I also want to thank whoever it was that made it so that the new R2-D2 and R5-D4 happened. Because once those reviews come out, if I see that R2 is as good as the SHF, I'm going to get the one you guys made because, well, much cheaper, but from the promo shots, he just looks fantastic. So whoever did that, and whoever came up with the idea to pop his neck up so you can put all the attachments in there, that's a great idea. Now, I gotta tell you, I don't know if I'm going to get R5-D4 yet. I can't worry too much about secondary characters just yet, but if I had all the unlimited funds and all the unlimited space, he would be mine because, well, frankly, if that R2 is as good as it looks like it's going to be, I'd probably buy every Astromech repaint you could throw at us, because you guys knocked that out of the park. Okay, remember how I said I'm not an all 80s, all the time kind of guy? Well, that applies to Transformers as well. And whoever's idea it was to make the Junkions modular, bravo! Because somehow, even though they were modular in the movie, I never thought in a million years, because I never put it together in my own head, that we'd ever get Junkions that could actually do that and kind of just build on each other. And I think just the idea of that was phenomenal. From what I've seen of it, the execution of it is equally as phenomenal. And I don't know that that gets as much love as it should, because there are a lot of people that are all 80s all the time. But me, I look at those and I'm like, dude, whoever made those happen, whew, I love it. And, well, here's another thank you thrown your way. Now, I watched the recent Transformers live stream when Shogo Hasui came in and showed off the Armada Optimus Prime, and wow. First off, I love seeing Hasui. He's the guy that was working on Masterpiece when I thought Masterpiece was at its peak. I collected all those. I loved those figures, so seeing him again was awesome. And seeing the fact that he had as much to do with that Armada Optimus Prime as he did was also awesome. So it was very cool to see him out there still doing his thing. And whoever at Hasbro partnered with him to help make that happen, whether you were on the money side or the design side, whatever side you were on, I love that figure. Like, he's going to be the first Transformer I've probably gotten since, I think, the first wave of Studio Series, which I since sold, some Earthrise figures, which I since sold, because I'll be honest, the QC on those wasn't very good. I had really loose joints, the tolerances weren't great, so I've been kind of shy about getting back into Transformers. But enough people have told me recently, especially the larger figures, are much better when it comes to QC. So, yeah, that Prime and that Megatron, by the way, I'm going to pick those up because they look remarkable. So, again, whoever made those things happen, grazie. And now, Marvel Legends. And whoever it was behind the scenes to make the first appearance Iron Man happen, you deserve special recognition. This thing is a thing of absolute beauty. Now, most of the time when it comes to comic book figures, I would say that their torso needs 2 points of articulation. Again, you know me, I'd prefer the recessed ball and the ball at the diaphragm. But if you can't do that, then make the ball at the waist. And don't give him anything here when he's in a giant suit of armor, and it makes all the sense in the world. And that's what they did when it comes to this Iron Man, plus giving him extra hands. He's got blast effects that I would argue are way too small for the bulk of the body that they're using him for. But still, I think this Iron Man looks phenomenal, and I know there's been some people complaining about the price. I'm okay with the price. If I see a figure and I think it is absolutely incredible, the price is very rarely a deterrent. But someone that is maybe a completist, who obviously they're buying it all, whether they think the figure's good or not, they're going to see the price and they're going to think to themselves, holy crap, even though it's, I think $3 more than the other, like the regular ones, they're going to think, holy crap, I can't do that. I gotta complain. I gotta let somebody know that this price sucks. I'm just not that guy, but that's because I'm not a completist. But I see this Iron Man, and I know that if they knocked him all out of the park like that, my wallet, whom I call Mr. Stabby, would have a field day stabbing me. So yeah, whoever was behind the scenes to make him happen, thank you. Also, whoever's behind the scenes to make the super articulated Black Widow happen that's coming up. I know, Dan, that you said not have insane expectations for that, but she's got the Power Rangers articulation, and she has no design below the upper torso, and she doesn't look to have insanely defined abs, so when I use her as far as movement is concerned, it shouldn't break anything up. That's all I want. I just want it to be that good. And if she comes out with like a $40 price tag because of all the things you say she's going to have, I will pick her up and I won't say a word because I badly want a really good comic book Black Widow. So, again, whoever was behind that, thank you. And those, folks, were the figures that I've noticed in the past several months that I thought, wow, the people that made those happen really need to be thanked, but I didn't know how to do it. So, I made this video, and my hope is that the people that were behind making those figures happen see this video and realize that some of us do appreciate the work they're putting in to make those kinds of figures happen. Because if you are a designer at Hasbro or anyone else behind the scenes that made those figures happen, I just want you to know that we appreciate it, and when I personally am talking about Hasbro, I'm not talking about you guys. I'm talking about your bosses, which, let's be honest, you probably do the same thing in the break room, so, don't worry, I won't tell them. Anyway, everybody, if you've noticed figures in the past few months that I didn't mention and you just thought, geez, these things are incredible, comment below and let me know what they are, because I want to know what they are, and be sure to thank the people behind the scenes when you're doing so, because, frankly, they deserve it. Now, I'll be sure to leave product links to everything I talked about in the video description below. Those are affiliate links, which means if you choose to purchase something using those links, I get a cut, and I certainly appreciate it just as much as I appreciate the fact that you took the time out of your day to watch this video. It's kind of a big deal. With that, and until next time, have fun and happy snapping. See ya.